Welcome to another retouch. We're going to work on Kevin, our cowboy. We did Kevin and Hunter both out in the field. I call this the open range one. It's a first night out with a horse. And the wind was howling, and it was not the best location. The second night we went out with a horse was much better. So if you haven't seen that retouch, that's of Otis 6-gun. We'll get to that. So all fun stuff, but it was a challenge, and that's part of photography. I guess, you know, that's what it's all about. I pulled off some really good pictures though. We had one light cross light, so I was pushing the light in the direction it's already going. You've heard me say that. I keep saying I've said that, but I'm going to keep repeating it because it's important to look at how I set these shoots up. So when I set up Kevin, I wanted the light, which was coming in and out of the clouds, but it was coming cross light, cross him. Not the light wasn't, the sunset wasn't like behind him or behind me. It's coming from obviously the west, so I'm pointing, in that case, north. My camera was pointing north. So with that, I get that cross light, I push the light in the direction it's already going. I had 2 strobes in there to get a little extra power if I needed it. And you only get so many pops, and I always had those on full power, and so you get the fire going away, and next thing you know, you're 250, 300 pops, and I got extra batteries. But the point is it goes quick, and so you have to kind of keep an eye on that. All right, so we're going to do Kevin. I'm going to move as fast as I can. As I've said before, many of the things I'm going to show you right now I've done on other retouches, so I repeat a lot of things. Hopefully this will give you a little bit more of who knows how I solve the problems here. I'm going to show you the retouched image, and then we're going to go retouch it. So the biggest challenge for this image is I'm going to drop a different sky into it. Okay, so another thing I'm going to repeat. I'm an artist. I have the freedom to go and drop a sky into a background or do whatever I want. I am an artist. If I define myself as a photographer, then I'm limited to how that definition plays out. I happen to believe that I have the freedom to manipulate. So we're going to add a sky, and you know that's I think one of the hardest things is getting that great sky. If you get everything, all the other elements together, and you get this kind of okay sky. A couple of the images I kept of Hunter and Kevin, I used the sky, the existing sky, but in this case I wanted to take it to another level. So here is, let's hit tab here. Here's our final retouched of Kevin, and so let me show you bridge over here, and we have this is the original CR3, which is the file indicator for Canon cameras, or this camera. It's the EOS R. Here's the sky. So I have a PSD sky, which is sometimes I use I can use a JPEG, a good quality JPEG, but I prefer to use a TIFF or a PSD higher res. So let's double click here, and we're going to come into a bridge. And again, I've done this so many times now for you guys that I'm just going to move as quickly as possible. So we have the highlights to the left. So that's getting, I guess you got a little bit of hot on his cheek, and the horse looking pretty good, but it pulls down the highlights. Open up the shadows, so that pulls some detail out. I adjust my white point and my black point by holding down the Option key, and you can see it starts to show up a little bit. So I know there's where it's starting to blow out. So do that with the black. And then I put a little texture in there, 18 plus 18. Don't match exactly this. People you know, think that this is an exact formula. It's not. I'm looking at the image, not at the sliders or the numbers that indicate with the sliders. Have a little detail, or dehaze, sorry, little dehaze in there too. I think I just added a little bit of orange, tweak the orange slider to the left to get a little darker on his face. And that is it for the adjustments in here. Now, I could go in here and I could add my vignette. I can do it later too. Add a little vignette, say a gradient, sorry. A gradient at the bottom, which I'm going to do either here or in Photoshop. I can also do this at the top, but I'm going to be knocking him out of this sky, so it's not as critical. So on the bottom, we could do that. We're going to say open as a smart object because I've got it defaulted for that. You've heard me beat that drum enough times. So here's my indicator that I've got a smart object. We're going to go Command J. So that means now I'm going to rasterize this. So I'm going to hold down the Control or right click and say rasterize. Now I still have my smart object if I want to go back to, which at this case I probably won't, but I'm going to grab my Wacom pen and we're going to let's do a couple things here first. Let's fix his eye. This is his, you know, again, who knows, the flash is going off, whatever, but one eye is bigger than the other. That really bothers me. So let me zoom it in here. This eye is bigger. So I have a choice of making this eye to match that, but we're going to pull down the right eye. It's very simple to do. Filter, liquify. Oop, did I hit liquify? Yes. And let's zoom in here, and I'm going to show you how simple this is. You go over here to the face aware little pull down, and it's going to automatically pick up the face for you. You don't have to do that. So we're going to take the eye, and we're going to say we want the right eye, and we're going to make it a little smaller. We're going to take the left eye and make it a little bigger. So let's see, right about there. I think that's a pretty good match. Maybe I went too far on this one. I can go and do the height a little bit here if I want. Whoops, height here. Anyways, that looks about right. We're going to say okay. So that's all I'm going to do on the liquify portion of that. So now let's do a little bit of cleanup on his face. I could go into frequency separation, which I do, and I have an action button over here, but I don't need to do that. Let's just go and grab our spot healing brush over here. It is a magical tool. So let's come in here. We're going to fix just a few things on him that make him look like a movie star. And that's what I make people look like superheroes, so I have the freedom to do this. Don't want to go too far. It is not a beauty shot, but we're going to pick up some things. And then he loves me, and his wife loves me, and I look good. So we're going to do this, just pick up a few little things. So I make my first pass, and I got a couple little things here, just some hairs that need to be fixed. Got a hair sticking out over there, which we'll probably lose when we do our cutout, but I'm going to fix it anyways. All right, so we're doing that. Looks pretty good. Let me bring it down again. That's the first pass. All right, now Command J gives me a duplicate. We're going to set the opacity to 50%. And you've seen me do this a lot. If you've watched my retouching, go to the patch tool over here. And we're going to start here. We're going to take that little, and we're just going to pull it over and fix that. We got a little section right here. I think I always call it the party lines, or maybe it's from being married. I'm just joking. I love being married because my wife can probably watch this tutorial, make sure that I don't get in trouble. All right, we're just fixing a few things. Now remember, the opacity can be adjusted later. We're not locked into the opacity, so let's go down a little bit. I haven't dodged and burned yet, so we're going to go over here and we can take the opacity to 0, and then we can work up till we say looks pretty good. Now I don't go past 50% generally, so you want some of the flaws to still come through. So it's not taking it away completely. All right, I'm going to Command E, which is a merge down, because I'm going to dodge and burn here, and I don't need that extra layer anyway. So Shift, Command N gives me a new layer. Set the mode to overlay. Fill it with 50% gray, and we're going to go over here to my dodge and burn tool, and midtones, we'll leave it at 60%. I usually do 3, but it's a cowboy, we're we're going to move quickly here. So I'm going to dodge back a couple of little wobbles. Pull that away, that little shadow there. Dodge this back. I talk a lot about this technique here. Now I'm going to hold down the Option and it'll burn at the same midtones at 6%. So I'm just flipping back and forth. I don't have to go over here and change that. I just go over here and burn. Whoop, let me start over. Burn carefully. Burn a couple little spots here. And then once I get to this stage, well, let me do the eyes. So I'm gonna dodge back the eyes just a little bit. Don't overdo the eyes. That looks really hokey. All right, so we're gonna come down, and I can see a couple of wobbles here when it's really small. So obviously you guys are looking at it, and it's kind of small, but I like that. So we're gonna burn down here and burn right here. I didn't see that when it's zoomed in and blown up, magnified. There's a little wobble right there. I'm gonna burn that down. And then dodge that part there. Dodge that. And we have protect tones on here to make sure that's checked. We'll burn this down a little bit here, burn that little down there. And then we're gonna go down really small and take a look. I think it looks pretty good. All right. Now, I'm going to probably darken, let me do that right now. I know that vest is a little too light for me, so we're going to go just to the burn, and we'll leave it at 7%. And I'm just going to real slowly kind of paint along here and just dodge that down. And you know what I noticed? We're going to go back. Let me do this. We're going to merge this down. And there's something, and this guy's in good shape, but the way he's standing, his stomach looks like it's a little bit sticking out. So we're going to go back to Liquify, and we're going to go to our push tool, and we're going to make this brush really big, and we're going to cheat here, and we're going to give him just a little bit of a six-pack. Well, you can't see it, but take out. See, look at the difference. I think that he looks a little more superhero. He's going to love me. All right, we're moving along here. Let's now go to the next stage of cutting out him from the background. So this is going to be the challenge. So because it's not in a white sweep or a gray sweep, or I don't use green sweep or blue sweep, but you may. So it's kind of a blue sweep, I guess. But we're going to go along here, and we're going to come along here, and we're going to pick up, all we're doing is painting on the sky. So we're coming around here, and then I'm going to zoom in here, and we're going to have to click in each one of these little boxes or little sections here to pick that up. Come on. Sometimes it does not like it. It's pretty good if you really think about it, but it does, like right here. So I'm going to hold the Option key down, and we're going to fill in that little right there. There we go. So this is definitely, we want those little whiskers. So let's go in here, and I'm probably going to have to adjust my mask later here. This is a little bit tough in here, but I don't mind that. What I want to make sure is that if I'm going to preserve like whiskers and things like that, hair, then you want to have it in the first run. Oh, let me hold down the Option. Poor horse going to lose his nose. And go right up here, holding Option down. We're going to pick those whiskers up in a minute. So we're just going to go along here. Oop, a little bit of a dip here. We lost, and we definitely want to get that in there for my first run. The hair, let's go up a little bit more higher here. We'll let Photoshop pick that up later. Ear looks good. Hair down here looks good. All right. Oh, we got a little bit of the hat. So hold the Option down, and I can fix this later, but we're going to see if we can get Photoshop to do its thing. Okay. All right. So now, let's go down the size a little bit. We're now going to go up to Select and mask. So we have a number of options here. We're going to start with the overlay first. And I'm going to be on the second icon from the bottom, or from the top here, which is my Refine Edge Mask. The other one is my Quick Select. So I could in fact go into, just open this image, hit the refine, or the masks, whatever it's select, the one I just did, and I can go in here and do what I just did, like quick select. But it's there in case you made a mistake and go back. But I'm going to go and do the refine part of the hair here. So we're going to paint along the hair, that the horse's mane, and we're going to make sure that we get all those little wispy hairs. Okay. Now, if I go over to my view and go to black and white, look at the beautiful selection it made. A few little fogging areas, but not bad, right? So we got to go up to the top here, and let's go back to my overlay, and we're going to paint in here now and get all these little wispy hairs here. It's not perfect, but it's pretty nice. So we come along here, and then there's little hairs along here we want to pick up. Little hairs along there. Probably just, I'll run this along here because there's a couple little whiskers. We're going to see if we can pick a couple of those up. It's not going to be perfect. I can always make those in Photoshop too with a really fine little brush. And I might have to do that down here because this is going to be the challenge one right here, because there's a cloud behind it. Let's pick up these little whiskers here, and we'll pick up these little hairs here, and we'll tap into here. We didn't really do a very good job picking that out. But with my sky in the background, I don't think you're gonna, I'm adding another sky, so I don't think it's gonna worry. Okay, so let's pick up his hair there and this hair over here. And if there's any whiskers, there's not much. Okay, looks good. We're gonna go and not touch anything else. We're gonna go, and I can look at my mask here if I want, and I can see all the little whiskers. Looks really nice. Oh, there's a little spot up here we'll fix. Oh, good, good thing I looked. That definitely picked that up. Oh, I don't want that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over here to my, the first one. I always forget the names of these things because it's a quick select tool. And I'm gonna come back, oh, no, hold the option down and fill that in, because there was a little line there. And if I don't really catch it now, I might not see it. All right, so we're gonna go, no, not clear. Where are we? Selection. Add the layer mask, say okay. All right, there's my mask. We're gonna go and get the sky. Let's bring the sky in. And this should go straight to Photoshop, not Bridge, because it's already a PSD file. Come on, baby. All right, we're gonna pick it up, hit the V key, and we'll come over here, drag it, and then drop it back on here. Okay. We're going to put it on the below, and we are going to also take the top layer, Command J. We're going to pick that one up and put it below that, and we're going to take the shift and get rid of the mask. Okay, so that doesn't have a mask. We don't need it. I don't know if it does that much. Okay, so this mask here, we're going to go Command I to invert it. And so now we're going to, let's get to right where I'm at, right about there. Command T. We're going to bring and hold the shift key down, and we're going to bring down the top of the clouds and pull it to the right. And yes, I'm stretching my pixels, but it is a background and it is not going to be as critical. Hit enter, and we've got some issues here which we're going to solve by taking a mask on here, and we'll take a brush. Where's my brush? Brush. We're going to take the opacity down a little bit here. So let's say 35-ish%. We're on soft. Nope, no, we're not. So soft brush. And I'm going to see if I can save that. Whoa. That's too much. Let's go down to 20-ish. And we're going to just blend that, because I've got a sky behind there, right? So that will help make that transition just a little better. So let's see what we got over here. There's a little mountain over there. We'll save that mountain. So all those little teeny bushes, well, they're pretty small. We're going to fix these little boogers over here, but that makes the ability to blend. Here, we can maybe use the whiskers just a little bit too. Here, let's see what we can do. No. I have to do it in a bigger sweep here. So now the whiskers are showing up a little bit. All right. So that blends pretty good there. All right, so now let's go back up to my top image. And we're gonna get these. There's some little artifacts on all the hairs here, and we're gonna bring them up and get them to really pop more. So we are not on the mask. We are on the image. We're gonna go over here, and I'm going to have my brush on black. We're gonna set the let's go to about 50%, and we're gonna set the blending mode, which you probably didn't know. Brushes have blending mode, to overlay. Now watch the magic. I mean, this is so cool. Watch what we're going to do here. We're going to pick up, let's go not quite 50%, let's go about 30. We're going to pick up the little wispy hairs here. See that? Isn't that like a miracle? Now watch here. They just pick those, whoop, I went too much. It's kind of a fine line between going too much and just, we're going to blend that in there, okay? Here's a little hair here. That pops that up. All right, let's go over here to the big mane here. So yes, this works on human hair, if you've got it. That's kind of important. And what I'm doing is I'm selling a fake here. And so that's all I have to do. I don't have to go beyond that. I have to win you over. And I'll tell you a little secret. I've said this many times. When you create a dramatic portrait, you win someone over with the drama of a portrait, not how good the cutout is. I hope that makes sense to you. The cutout's important, but it's not as important as you might think. If you take a look at some of my earlier images of composite, boy, if you took it with a fine-tooth comb, you'd find some major flaws. But because the imagery is powerful, you're not looking at with a fine-tooth comb. You're looking at the overall impact. There we go. That is a pretty good, I think, start. And we are now going to do a Shift, Option, Command E, which gives me a snapshot. And we are going to take a break to reset my cameras. And then we'll keep moving on to finish this thing off into an incredible, hopefully an incredible image. All right, we're back. We had to do that because, and I say this because my cameras go for 30 minutes, and then if I don't catch it, it's a disaster. So we reset the cameras. We reset Camtasia. We're going to continue to finish this image of Kevin. So let's, if you notice the original one that I had him a little more centered. Okay, so what did I do there? Well, let's take. And we're going to go, actually I'm going to go Command J just in case I screw it up. We're going to take and we're going to extend our canvas. So we go to canvas size. So that was image, canvas size. And I'm going to go to the anchor point and go to the right. Okay, so then I'm going to set my width to, let's go 25 inches across. And I'm going to say okay. That gives me an extra, that's a little more than I need, but I'm going to go over here to the a rectangular marquee tool. We're going to make a selection right just on the other side of this horse's nose. We're going to say Command T, hold down the Shift, and we're going to move this to the left a little bit. And I would say about right about there might be about right. Let's go just a tad more. Okay, say enter. Command D deselects that. Hit the C, which is the crop tool. And we're going to pull this over. Come on. It's spinning because I got too many things going. So I would say right about there. Hold down the control to fine tune it. I would say he's about pretty much dead center right there. Okay, so hit enter. And that looks beautiful. All right, so now I am going to take up to the very top. I have selected or have rulers checked. I have rulers checked, so I can grab my ruler line and pull it right to here. So let's pull it to right there. And you notice my horizon's a little off. All right, I don't like that because here, let's get rid of this one because I didn't screw that up. So we're gonna go back to here. So we go Command T, which is free transform. We hold the control down, right click, and I go to warp. And now I'm going to pull that down just a little bit. I'm going to push this up just a fraction right there. Okay, hit enter. And then I'm going to get rid of my marquee tool here. Whoops, come on. V, hit the V, get rid of. Oh, I kind of messed up here. So that will just solve with one little quick little, what is this? My stamp tool. We'll just fix that. Oops, I'm not on 100%. I am on 100%. Well, we'll do it again. $100% flow. Oh well, it's still showing there. Doesn't like it. There it disappears. Ah, Photoshop. Gosh. I think it's just hasn't registered or it's playing tricks on me. It comes and goes. All right. This is a Photoshop lesson, so I'm not going to worry about it. All right. Now, I got a lot of things that are bothering me about this shot, and I haven't really got the final value of him yet. All right. So, and this horse may be a little bit hot on the forehead, but let's fix. We're going to the spot healing brush. Let's zoom in here, and I do not like this stuff. This really bothers me. So I'm just going to go along here, and I'm not going to do everything. You just so you see kind of what I'm doing here. I am fixing all this stuff, and when I tell you this, okay, as a Canon Explorer of Light, Canon takes my pictures often and puts them up big prints, sometimes 60 by, well, I think the biggest is about 44 by 60s. That I've seen. Maybe they've had some bigger ones, but so when I go and deliver a file, even to a client, I will zoom in and go through every little thing. So let's go. Let me show you. Watch. I'll go in here and see these little wobbles in here. These little things. I'll go in here and zoom this in, and we got a little transition here with the sky. I'll fix all that. So let me show you how I fix that. I will go up here. Let me go to my stamp. And I'll go like this. I'll go either from the bottom, which is the mountains in this case, and just fix that along like that. Or I can go from the sky and come like this. So I will go through with the fine-tooth comb and fix all those little things, right? Because my mask wasn't perfect. And for the most point, you're not going to see that. And well, like especially on if I deliver it to you guys via JPEG for your computer or for your iPhone, whatever. But if you make a big print out of it, oh my gosh, all that stuff shows up. So the guys that print the Canon stuff tell me that I deliver files that are pretty much perfect because I take the time. So I'm going to go through like this. This is what I'm doing. I'm going through all these little sticks and anything that kind of takes my eye off of here. This one I have to use a stamp tool because it's not liking it when it's on the edge here. So we'll fix that. But like this bothers me, this branch. So the branches like as a whole behind there maybe don't, but that those little branches that are sticking up bother me because my eye goes to it. Now here's one that's a little bright. So I blend that in a little bit. I think you get my point here. I'm just fixing little things. I could even take that rock out because that rock is a little bit brighter, and we got some nasty ones over here. But I'm not going to spend the time to go through every single one of these. But you get the idea. All right. So just to fix the basic ones here. And this refine, or this spot healing brush. The spot healing brush is just like a magical tool. Doesn't work every time, but it works 95% of the time. So be careful when you do it. All right, we're gonna come down. We've extended the canvas, that's good. Let's take and do a levels. And usually when I do my levels, let's go to black and white. So we got the black and white above it. We got the levels, and I go usually down low, okay? Take a look at it. Go over to my properties, where's levels, properties, and I look at my histogram. So I can see right away that I'm a little bit on the flat side. So we're gonna bring this over, and I'll go right to the edge of my little, sort of like the mountain here coming down to the valley, right at the tip. I know that that's probably gonna be, well, that's going to tell me where my whites are going to be clipped, right? So I got my black looks pretty good. So let's take my mid-tone down just a little bit. Okay, just a little bit. Well, up, it kind of jumped. Because I'm building drama, right? Okay, not done yet. So let's take uncheck that. Now I go over to my levels again, and we're going to do a vignette. So we go over to the gradient tool right there. Hopefully it'll doesn't come up on me. Why is that not doing that? Usually pops up and tells you the name. All right, we have the circular, which is between the linear and the circular one there. I use them all the time. So we're going to right at his nose, pull down, and we don't want a very big circle. So if you look over here, it's kind of a small icon, but you'll see a little teeny black circle with gradient around it. That's my vignette, and I'm going to click on the little icon to get over to properties. We're going to pull it to the right. So now I go back to my black and white for a second. And let me go down small. Still have this issue with, you know what I'm going to do? Command T. We're going to go to warp, and I'm going to pull this up. And I'll pull that down. That better get rid of it. Yeah, it did. Okay, so that's actually a beautiful black and white, but I want to keep it as color. So let's take off the black and white for a second. And now with that vignette, the ground got a little darker, the corners got a little darker, the horse got a little darker. So let's go, and because I am colorblind and I do not like, oh wait, what did I just do? Wrong one, black and white. We're going to pull down the black and white to 0, and we're going to start pulling to the right. And I would say at about there is how I see it as what I like in terms of desaturation and color. So let's take it off. There's punchy color. You know, I get nervous when I see that because I don't know if I've gone too far with the color. It looks like it's, you know, a neon, you know, it looks too neon to me. You may go, Joel, that looks incredible. Well, I don't like it. So I'm going to go back to what I do all the time, which is desaturate. And let's just say I went too far. Let's go down about 35%. And that layer is going to sit there. So I'm not going to get rid of it. So later, if let's say I do for a client says, yeah, the colors are kind of muted. Oh, no problem. But I got to do this. I'm going to go, well, we could do it two ways. Let's do this. Command J below. You know what I'm going to do? Because I want to do it the way I always do it. If I was in a client, I'd probably do it below. That way I wouldn't mess with that. But here we do. Shift, Option, Command E, which just gives me a snapshot. And as I said before, well, we're going to save it. So let's get rid of this layer. And let's get rid of that mask. That's probably going to cause it to... let's save it, because what happens if I go to Luminar, the Skylum, and it crashes. Doesn't really happen, but Kevin, we just call this test 2, and we'll drop it in here. My Tombstone Cowboys. I say that is because I'm sure it's happened to you where you've done something and all of a sudden it crashes and you lose everything. So before I go to a third party, and I probably should have saved it earlier, but Photoshop is saving it in the behind the background. It doesn't save it 100%, so you may lose 5 minutes of retouching or 2 minutes or whatever. It's in the background saving it so it'll recover it. But I want to make sure I save it before I go to the next step, and it's taking its time, so I don't want to go and move forward yet until it says it's 100% saved. All right, it's saved, so we're going to go to Filter, Skylum's software, which is Luminar Flex. Luminar, I think it comes in 2 versions. The Flex is the one that's tied in with Photoshop, so you can do it as a standalone. And you're going to see pop up Joel Grimes's preset pack, which is available for you free. Oh wait, let me cancel that. I'm on the wrong layer. Got to go all the way to the top. Have no idea how that happened. Do it again. Filter, Skylum. That filter pack is free. I think I've mentioned it before in this master class. If you have a Skylum, and the Skylum is not very expensive. I don't know the exact price. I know they run specials. I get a little thing that says, hey, 49 bucks or whatever. And you can buy some presets. They have my presets for free, which means I get nothing, which is fine. So I have a Crisp and Clean. I'll hit that for you. And all these are adjustable, so that's really grungy, okay? Detail Warm, woo, not for me. I think we just played around. Dramatic Detail, not bad. Desaturated. Here's Indian Summer, which I like a lot. Portrait Pop the Blues, which doesn't really apply to this one. So we're gonna go back here. And I got, one more soft and desaturated. Anyways. That's for portraits over here. All right, so Indian Summer, I'm going to pull down to about, let's go to about 50%. Take a look at that. So it's still giving a crispy, a crispy kind of grunge look to it, but it's not too much. I'm adding a little bit of color and warmth to the picture. So it's kind of a funny thing. I take the color out and I add it back in a little bit. That's been my technique for 10 years. It kind of, when I say it was part of that look that put me on the map of at least in education, and people wanted to know how I do things. So let's go down here, take a look at that. We're going to hit the tab so we have a clean canvas there. There we have the retouch of Kevin and his horse. Unfortunately, I'm going 100 miles an hour, and there was some things I would fix in that on the original I did. But you get to see it. It's not super time consuming, but I would say that because this is sort of like a composite in a way, it's about an hour. It's about an hour retouch. In the early days, my retouches, or my composite retouches, would take me easily 3 hours. I got better, I got faster. Photoshop got better and faster. And so now it's about an hour. So if I get an image that's longer than an hour, I start to get grumpy. I'm just at that, I'm 62 years old. I don't have the same patience I had at 52. So I'm kind of in that mode that if I can't do it in an hour, it's not really for me. So keep that in mind. What is your attention span? Work around that. With that, we're going to move on. More cowboys to come, more retouches to come, more hopefully amazing education for you. And I'm hoping you're having a good time with this. I love doing this. I want this picture hanging on my wall. That's how excited I am about doing this series. And it's because of you guys that I'm sort of out there recording this and building this body of work. It's really fun. So we're going to continue to move on.